The Chicago Bears make a coaching change. Offensive coordinator Shane Waldron has been fired. Passing game coordinator Thomas Brown takes over and will run the show, Steve, for #1 overall pick Caleb Williams moving forward. But right now, things look pretty bad for the Chicago Bears. Your initial take right now, Steve, on the Bears and what's going on. Should they have moved on from Shane Waldron? And is there a light at the end of the tunnel?
That's a loaded question right there because they have a lot of leaks in their boat. However, we know when teams don't live up to expectations, there's a lot of blame to go around, and usually the head coach is always blaming someone else. I've been watching a few of these games. It's just a few of the notes that I wrote.
Okay, hit me.
The Bears against the Cardinals. Late on throws, just a tick off. Slow start. Why did the Cardinals score so many points? I'm pretty sure Shane Waldron was not the defensive coordinator, is he?
No, he's not. That's the head coach, Matt Eberflus, essentially running that defense. And I'll say this, we just got done talking about him. Drew Petzing with the Arizona Cardinals out-schemed, out-designed, out-coached Matt Eberflus in that game.
Not Shane?
No, not Shane.
Oh, just checking. All right. I like to ask redundant questions.
It drives the point home. I dig it.
Yeah. And then, so now let's go with New England. Bears are allowing way too much real estate gained on the run game. Every single Bears opponent has scored on opening drives. Now, explain to me, where's Shane in that? Opening drives are predicated only on the defense. Is that sure? Is that correct?
That is correct. I feel like I'm on the stand right now. Yes, that's correct. I feel like I'm a witness. Yeah.
I don't think Shane knew what he was doing. I put Shane Waldron in that same category Luke Getsy. A little bit too soon. Just because you're the quarterback coach and you did a little bit, all of a sudden you're not ready to run a whole offense all by yourself.
Well, both have been fired this year, Steve.
What do I expect from Thomas Brown? This is a legitimate assessment from me.
Okay.
Based on his last job, I'm not particularly sure what we can expect out of Thomas Brown because Thomas Brown was with the Carolina Panthers. I saw some good things. I saw some no things. I don't know, was he running his offense or was he running Frank Wright's offense? All I know is it was very unique and interesting how things went down.
Very polite of you, Steve.
I try not to believe and come across, but I am like I'm Captain Petty, but I'm also like I try to be optimistic Oscar, but I'm a little bit pessimistic Paul as well. So, I mean, it just depends on who it is, how they look, and what the film looks like. And I've seen the Bears offensively be behind the chains and try to do so many cute things way too much. I think they're relying way too much on Caleb Williams and his off-scheduling throws, that they are actually not doing him a good service by allowing him to still play like he's in college. That's not going to work. No. He's getting himself in trouble, and he's putting this offense behind the chains like 15, 20 yards at a time because he thinks that he's going to outrun everybody. He's not.
Steve, I'm going to fire back at you with the same thing.
Oh, well, let's go. Let's go. Billy the Kid.
What's the definition of insanity?
Oh, doing the same thing over and again, expecting a different result.
Yep. They picked Mitchell Trubisky, 2 overall, had a lame duck coach, kept him.
Didn't tell Coach Fox, I want to tell you, too. Did not tell Coach Fox they were getting him.
Well, there you go. Didn't tell Coach Fox they were getting him. Coach Fox, lame duck coach, lasts another year. Second year for that quarterback, and Mitchell Trubisky has a new coach. Picked Justin Fields, I believe 11th overall. What was it? Had a lame duck coach for 1 more year, and Matt Nagy, and then they picked a new coach the next year. Oh, let's pick Caleb Williams, #1, with essentially a lame duck coach, and Matt Eberflus. And now you're going to most likely, the appearance of this right now, is you're going to be giving him a new staff in his second year. 23 consecutive offensive drives without a touchdown. The last time that happened, Mitchell Trubisky's rookie year, they went 23 straight without having a touchdown. It just feels like they're stuck in a spin cycle and they need to make sure they get out of it. The move to move on from your offensive coordinator better be the right one because you have, as John has called him, the savior in Chicago, Caleb Williams, #1 overall pick. Your #1 goal this year is to make sure that he develops in the proper environment and you have an opposite conclusion than what happened with the previous 2 first-round quarterbacks in Mitchell Trubisky and Justin Fields. The dangerous part with all of this and where we're headed in Chicago, and this is the part I want to talk to you about, is public perception and expectations are dangerous, man. And they were both high in Chicago right now. The expectations.
I was there in camp. I expected it high too. Defense looked good.
Defense was great. Defense great back into last year, and the defense looked good. And this is, everybody was saying this isn't the same type of situation a number one pick usually walks into. Look at the talent he has around him. Look at the skilled position players they have. And it just hasn't come to fruition yet. I think the part that's happening that I'm fascinated with is what we're going to find out is if this was a Shane Waldron problem or this right now is a Caleb Williams problem right now. Not saying it means like Caleb Williams broken, he's never going to be a good quarterback in the NFL, but right now, where does the problem lie? Because I go back and look at the 1 year that Shane was with Russell Wilson. It was the second fastest time to throw Russell Wilson's had in his career for a season. So he got Russ to get rid of the football, and what has Russ done in some of his years in this league? He's held on to the ball. And so is this a Shane issue that these plays are taking too long to develop, or is Caleb hanging on to the football, or are receivers not getting open fast enough? I think we're going to now, with the change, my point is, at offensive coordinator and a play caller, well, the offense is what it is. There's only so much you can really change within the whole offense. But we're going to find out where some of the issues actually truly lie now that you made a change.
Well, some of it lies where Caleb is a second off trying to throw the ball. He's sometimes late seeing the guy get open, so he's trying to catch up with his arm strength. You can see sometimes those bullets that he's throwing in there, if he would just take a little bit off. But part of that has to do with he's seeing a little bit late, and that's because he's in his first calendar year, his first games in the National Football League. So that just comes with experience. However, there's also some things that Caleb isn't calling. He's not like Aaron Rodgers where he's commanding the offense from the line of scrimmage.
True.
He may identify the defense or where the offensive line slides, but he's not saying, hey, these are the plays. We're on the goal line. We're going to throw a quick screen to DJ Moore instead of run it with the running back. That's not there. But also, this defense has this huge expectation with Eberflus and that they will be able to stop something. And they can't. I mean, this defense needs to be cauterized to figure out what and how do they stop the bleeding, because too many teams are running the football consistently on them, and that's what they're supposed to be known for, is their defense was top-notch, and now they get a quarterback that can help them. Cole Kmet has disappeared. He hasn't forgotten how to run routes, right? You go ahead and trade for an old head who's savvy with Keenan Allen. Then you utilize all the equity you have by the Carolina Panthers, and you get Rome Odunze. And yet, Rome Odunze, and I said it in our draft, you can go look at that, I said, he's going to play better when you put him in the slot. He's not going to become that mismatch god that you thought he was going to be. He's going to do a lot of his dirty work in the slot.
Yeah.
I've played this sport just a little bit.
A little bit.
And I'm telling you, and I'll study a lot of film, if you move him inside consistently, he will do a lot of great things. If you keep moving him inside and outside, I don't believe he can consistently grow and become the player that you drafted him to become. And you need to run the football. That's why you got DeAndre Swift.
That's a good point. In Shane Waldron's past, they've ran the football well. And, in Seattle where he was, they ran it more than they threw it. I'm interested to see what ends up changing, because the main reasons Matt Eberflus wanted to make a change was the in-game communication on the offensive side of the ball was not up to what he
let's
thought.
Stop. You know why he made the change?
Well, go ahead.
He trying to save his job. That's why.
Well, yeah, but listen, of course. I'm just trying to go through the immediacy of it. But of course.
I understand it. Sometimes we want to tell you why. Just tell them. Just say the real truth. Don't take me the long route. Just tell me, look, man, we're just going to hit a left, cut through, run over the grass, bang. That's where we need to be.
He's got to save this season. He's got to save his job. Of course, you're going to make changes. That's what you're trying to do.
That brother trying to keep that gas in that gas tank. Shit, them kids in private school.
That house was sweet, too, on Hard Knocks. I like this setup.
Yeah, he keep coaching like this. The word you're going to use is was. That house was sweet.
Well, the house is still sweet, no matter what.
Hey, you want to put lipstick on a pig, man. Let that thing oink, oink.
The issues that Matt Eberflus says are on the offensive side of the ball. We'll see if these things change. He's trying everything to kind of turn this thing around right now, but it's the specifically in-game communication, Steve. It's the tactical adjustments need to be better. The adjustments within the game on the offensive side of the ball need to be better.
I agree with that.
But we're also hearing in the building, Steve, apparently due to reports I don't know this. I don't think you've dug on it either as we're taping this, is that veterans have a couple, apparently, have gone to Ryan Poles, the general manager, and Matt Eberflus, saying maybe we should start Tyson Bagent at the quarterback position. To me, now that this report is out, I think it makes this whole situation even worse, Steve.
Why you think it's worse?
One of the major things you need to do as a rookie quarterback, specifically the first overall pick or a first-round pick, is you need to start to own that locker room. What did they do for Caleb Williams right out of the gate? No, what did they? They gave him a playbook at the combine so he could start working on the playbook because they knew they were taking him #1 overall. They got a jump start.
A few teams have
on
done
him
that in
running
the past, though.
thing. Yes, they have. No, listen, I'm not saying what they're doing is out of the norm.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying it, but not everybody knows. Like sometimes I forget the conversations we have. You know, some people know, and we do love reading your comments, love reading your expertise.
Yeah.
So some people already know. They get on their computer and tell me, hey, they run this personnel 44% of the time. Appreciate it.
They do. Right? A little bit. Listen, we do appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you hit that link button, smash the subscribe button, whatever everybody says on YouTube. Smash it. But you're right. The Jaguars did it with Trevor Lawrence as well. They gave him the playbook right out of the gate.
Oh, sure. They about to be fired too. Sorry.
Yeah,
my bad.
I'm just saying this is what happens. You wanted it to be out there that with #1 overall picks, oftentimes teams try to get a jump on the quarterback getting to know the playbook.
Why do they try to get a jump with the #1 quarterback and getting him the playbook?
Because they want him to start week 1. And they want to make sure that he starts studying that playbook because you're the only team that has the option to give the playbook right away because nobody can pick before you. So you can't do that from any other spot. So you get them going. You get them ready. You get them ready for spring ball.
Going, get them familiar, get them comfortable because you hope that works.
Exactly.
That gives him that boost to help him minimize the rookie mistakes. Very rarely has it ever worked out.
I don't know. I'm not sure when Peyton Manning got his book, but he also threw an insane amount of interceptions that rookie year.
That's what my point is, man, these teams, if we continue to draft players with the first overall pick and expect them to not give them any navigational system in the car, not check their license, and then just get them on an Autobahn or get them in a rush hour and believe that they're going to make all the right decisions every single time, you're foolish. It rarely works out the way you want it to in the beginning.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
There's different approaches you can make. And I think this is a glaring one because not just the playbook part. Remember how early, Steve, they declared Caleb Williams the starter? I mean, that was outside of the norm. I mean, they did it before spring ball even started. Like, they did it so early. That part, coming out and saying he is our starting quarterback right away, is not the norm. It didn't happen with C.J. Stroud. He's had to sit there and battle, but essentially earn it in DeMeco Ryans' mind throughout camp in the way he played. It's happened with other quarterbacks. They did it earlier than you've ever seen. What's the point in doing it that early? I asked around when that happened. Some coaches said because you want your guy to know he's the guy, and you want your room to know he's the guy. Fast forward to now, and where are we? You have veterans reportedly going to the general manager and the head coach saying that we don't think he's the guy. So now all that work you put in right there, now you're starting back at square one, it seems like, because he's going to have to barely earn some of these guys' respect back.
Here's why he's not the guy in your words. I didn't say that.
I didn't say he's not the guy. I'm saying that's the perception of it right now.
It's not that he's not the guy. It's we're trying to win a football game, and he's a tick off. He's a little bit behind in recognizing. That can be frustrating for veterans because we're running our routes with an expectation on my second break, get here. And a lot of times in these instances, I've been in these locker rooms where you have a young quarterback, a veteran wide receiver, and the coaching staff is coaching up everybody else around them and allowing the small details for the quarterback to slip through the cracks. But yet, if I break off my wrong foot or the ball is thrown behind me and it hits my hand, I don't catch it, I'm overcoached. I'm being told I need to do a better job. But you're not coaching up the other guy who threw it to me. I remember this, not saying names, right? But I remember one time I got yelled at for dropping the pass. I should have. However, I had caught like 4 or 5 balls that were thrown here, behind me. I had to catch one through my legs. And no accountability from the coach on the 5 that I caught that were off the mark, but the one I did catch. And that's where resentment starts to create, where you're saying, hey, are you coaching us all in the same way? Or is it you are making sure that you keep your guy lifted up at the expense of everyone else?
It's a fine line.
While you're playing. And guys start to say, bro, no, you need to coach everybody. And if you don't start coaching everybody, then you know what? Don't talk to me. And that, I'm telling you, that happens because these are professionals. And one thing, though, about professionals, we all had this job. When you're a professional and you don't like your supervisor because they didn't try you, they done said something to you on the wrong day, now you start to look at your supervisor uniquely and you start to go, so are you really coaching us, or are you just coaching us? You know, like coaches sometimes coach everybody, but they're really talking to one person, but they don't want that one person to be get all upset. And that one person is actually the person we need to play the best.
Do you think that's what's happening in Chicago right now? Do you think that was the issue with Shane Waldron? And that that's why part of the reason they needed to make a change?
I think Shane Waldron was a struggling offensive coordinator, but I also think that they were putting too much on Caleb. And I also believe that they have these dynamic wide receivers that is huge expectation. The ball is all over the field. You're talking about, hey, coach, why did DJ Moore walk off the field? Now he has to explain that he rolled his ankle. Man, them dudes scored 3 points. Why the hell y'all ain't talking about the 3 points we didn't score? How about the bad play calling? You're starting to hone in on certain things, but they are giving a hall pass to the young guys. And guys know when you start giving hall passes to the young guys and you start holding the older guys accountable, you can lose your locker room. Guys can start rolling their eyes at the messages because they don't believe that you're speaking from a professional, honest opinion. Now you're just talking to CYA. You're covering your own anus. And that's where things start to become where, man, I don't fool with you.
I mean, there's 2 schools of thought, right, Steve, that most coaches that you talk to are in. You play him right away. You tell him he's the guy. You sit him, and you let him grow behind somebody else. There are plenty of people in this league that have coached at the head coaching position in the NFL that believe you should sit quarterbacks right away. But that's the difficult spot you're in as a coaching staff, to make sure you don't lose which is one of the most important things that happen with a rookie quarterback. He doesn't lose his confidence, which is one thing you're monitoring constantly with a rookie quarterback when you play them in year 1. And you want to make sure
at the expense of other players.
Yes, that's my point. This delicate balance that you have to go through is part of the coaching job.